An Ohio teenager is dead after a TikTok challenge took a fatal turn.
So the big question is, what do parents need to know about the impact social media is having on your own children? And can you actually keep them safe? Social media safety is our big story today.
A family from Columbus is dealing with a horrific tragedy. Their 13-year-old son is dead after he overdosed on an over-the-counter medicine.
The family says their son was trying to copy a TikTok challenge. Stephanie Dupree spoke with relatives about the teen's death.
I'm going to do everything I can to try to make sure another child doesn't go through it.
13-year-old Jacob Stevens died after 6 days on a ventilator.
The worst day of my life.
He overdosed on Benadryl after attempting a TikTok challenge. Family told me the challenge was to take 12 to 14 pills and it would create a hallucination. Jacob took more than that.
They kind of just all come at one time and it was too much for his body.
Jacob's father, Justin Stevens, says the teen was at home with friends when he overdosed. He says Jacob's friends filmed him attempting the social media challenge when all of a sudden his body started seizing. Justin says he felt like time stopped when doctors told him his son would never wake up.
No brain scan, there was nothing there. He said we could keep him on the vent. We could, he could lay there like that, but he will never open his eyes. He will never
breathe on his own.
He'll never do anything like that.
Smile. He'll never walk, talk.
His parents described Jacob as a well-mannered, funny, loving kid. He played football for Greenfield schools.
It didn't matter how bad of a day I was having and nobody else could make me smile. Jacob would make me smile.
His father says what community members said about his son brought him to tears.
It made me feel really good to see some of the posts that his peers had put on Facebook about how he helped them.
And now his family has a warning for other parents.
Keep an eye on what your kid's doing with that phone. Talk to them about, the situation. I want everybody to know about my son's situation.
They're also trying to get lawmakers to put an age restriction on buying medicine like Benadryl.
I've already sent a message to Mr. DeWine.
If it's my life goal to make that happen, I'll go at it till I die.
While many social media trends may just involve things like copying a dance move, others can cause serious injury. One Missouri teenager landed in the hospital after attempting a social media challenge that involves overinflating a basketball. The ball exploded. It injured the teen's hand as well as scratched both his corneas and then caused temporary partial hearing loss. The teen's mother said she at first thought it was an accident, but the teen says social media feeds are full of risky videos.
It's like everywhere. Like you'll see a lot of people just doing every challenge, like just trying to find new stuff to do.
And why? Why do they want to do it?
Content. It's like money, like trying to get new stuff.
Doctors say the teen will fully heal from his injuries, but his family says he's lucky that his injuries were not worse. Meanwhile, some schools are taking action against social media companies for the impact they say social media is having on the health of their students. The Dexter Community School District in Michigan is the latest school to join a nationwide lawsuit against several social media companies. The lawsuit targets companies like Meta, which is the parent company of Facebook and Instagram, as well as TikTok, YouTube, and other companies. That lawsuit says the company's algorithms are responsible for a mental health crisis among students.
And social media usage can have a real impact on how young people see themselves and their peers. A study from the American Psychological Association found reducing social media usage improved body image for teens and young adults. This specific study tracked social media habits of young adults aged 17 to 25 who use social media for 2 hours or more every day and also had symptoms of depression or anxiety. Over the course of 3 weeks, half of the participants were instructed to limit their social media time to just an hour. Those who did saw a significant improvement in how they saw themselves and their body weight. That's compared to the group who did not limit screen time. They saw no change in their body image.
This comes as YouTube is rolling out new guidelines and rules for content related to eating disorders. The website is banning content that features behaviors that at-risk users could imitate. That includes extreme calorie counting or purging after eating. The ban is for videos that are not focused on recovery. For recovery-focused videos, YouTube will allow the content, but restrict who can see it. The platform says only users who are logged into the site and over the age of 18 will be able to view such videos. Now, the challenges with social media are constantly changing as different social media platforms rise in popularity. According to the Pew Research Center, in 2022, the most used social media platform for teens aged 13 to 17 was YouTube, with 95% of teenagers saying they use it. Right behind it was TikTok. 67% of teens say they use the app. And right below that, Instagram and Snapchat, with more than half of teens saying they also use those apps.
So lots of parents out there might be wondering what you can do. There are some resources available to guide you or a caretaker about what your child is watching or playing. This is commonsensemedia.org. It is a website that outlines everything from movies to streaming shows, video games, even books, and then outlines what the content is and also suggests an age range for the group that it's most appropriate for. You can search anything here. These are some of the more popular ones right now. The Super Mario Brothers movie, for example, age 7 and up, it's given 3 stars. And then we'll also give you more information about that. You can search specifics, or you can also see what might be a good match for your child based on their age. As you can see over here, how old is your child? You can make that 9 or 10 and then say get started. From there, it's going to pull up a whole list of items that might work for your child who's 10 years old. You can also put content limits out there. Netflix, Prime, Disney, and Hulu, all of those choices. There's even more at the top. Things like podcasts and games as well. So this is a resource. Again, the website is commonsensemedia.org.
Every child is going to make mistakes. That's just part of growing up. But how can you talk to your child about the challenges they may be seeing on social media and the dangers that some of those challenges can pose? The Cleveland Clinic says while social media can have its uses, it also amplifies the power of peer pressure and can reward risk-taking with positive reinforcement. You can combat this by talking to your kids about the negative impacts of what they might be seeing on their feeds.
You can also lead by example. The experts recommend modeling responsible use for things like medication. The Cleveland Clinic also recommends reading and following all the instructions provided with medication specifically. And when it comes to all these viral challenges, like the one we talked about here with the Benadryl, that might involve over-the-counter meds or household objects, consider keeping those items in a safe location out of reach if you're worried.
Remember, you can watch the full big story on our 13ABC News app. It is available as a free download in your app store.